Never heard of lesser arcanes. Arcana. Minor. So that said conceited. Conceived by Arthur. Is he a psychiatrist, Arthur? Okay, with instruction booklet. Just wondering if this is another one of my belongings that were stolen and then replaced with some bullshit. Because I bought this from a tarot shop. Just came to mind. Danny, when I say Danny, that means Daniel Alessic. What did you mean by you're going to start seeing signs everywhere? This was at the end of 2024. I'm going to start seeing signs everywhere. Like, remember how you would know when I've washed my face? And you weren't at my home, so you're on the phone, we're on the phone together, and you knew I've just washed my face. And it would freak me out. When I was living in Elwood, Unit 5, 45 Ormond Esplanade, Elwood, Victoria, Australia, 3184. That place. And I just saw this too. I don't know why it's not focusing properly. Face oil. Hero ingredient. Sofum. France. Free from fragrance. Silicon sulfates. Essential oils. pH not applicable. Use AM, PM. Apply 1 to 2 drops after cleansing and toning. Use after your other water-based serums. It's the Perel she talks about. She's talking about serums, isn't she? About water-based serums. Thing is, every time I used this, I kept breaking out. I'm just wondering why. United Kingdom. MSL. Stelcor MSL. So made in India. United Kingdom. City Road. Camp House. care at beminimalist.co. Hide nothing. That's the minimalist. And that was something that was altered as well. Am I? This one. I bought this when I was with Darren Dixon doing. Where was it? It was in Eltham. There was a group of us and doing a healing modality thing. But I bought this from there. I bought another one as well, Love. Just looking at this. Empower Deep Healing Soul Mist. 5D Soul Care. It just looked, this time when I'm reading the label, looks a bit weird. Allow you to accept change and trust in yourself. Amplifies your inner strength and self-empowerment. Releases certain fears such as anger, disappointment, and resentment. Okay. Allows you to let go of control and pain from the body. Ingredients: vibrational infusion of universal energies, sacred geometry, specific crystals, what's that? Solarized water and essential oils. Right. Directions: spray around the body, creating a pyramid-like formation, and over any painful areas. Slow, deep breaths, repeating an affirmation several times. Everything in my world is perfect, whole and complete. All is well, and so it is. Are they the painful points, the red hearts? I saw these books that I had as a child where I used to write, because I really liked cooking growing up, and I used to have a lot of cookbooks that I'd write down the recipes for. I had to bake a cake and pancakes, and I saw those books of mine, and they've been trashed by some, I guess you call someone like that, some sort of psychopath, to do that. I mean, not someone, I reckon there's more than one that was involved in going into my home. This is last year, or towards the end of 2024, and I mean, how sick in the head would you have to be to do that? Go through my belongings and violate them with your vile self. my childhood books, and again, you know, when we all say, oh, we're all one, I couldn't imagine doing that. Like, and if it was someone I hated, I still wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't waste my time. Like, their childhood books. I'm not one with that type, that sickness. So, no, I'm not. Hand on heart, man. No. Because who would even spend that time doing that to those books? Like, you've even got time to think about what you're doing, and you're spending your time doing that. Like, it's quite sick individuals who did that. And the ones that knew about it and didn't, I don't know, kick their fucking heads in at minimum. Like, but so when I say where I lived last year, and I was being gaslit, I mean, that's an understatement to say that. Being gaslit. What else? Yeah, I'm sitting in my tent. And I'm wearing my old, it's a Karen Millen cardigan. I love cardigans. This is a cherry blossom. And why am I wearing this? Because it's what I could get my hands on in the car. Because everything I've worked for and bought, owned, working, when I went to work, I paid my taxes, and you know, it's all gone. And I'm homeless. Been homeless, again, I'll repeat, since October 2025. And so much goes through my head about and also memories come back of what happened at the beginning of last year. Andrew Tate, watching those videos, because I only started using social media last year, which was that X platform, which my account has disappeared. It was hacked into this year, January. And yeah, Facebook. I think, I can't remember, did I use a bit of Instagram last year as well? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, so last year I started watching, I think it was on Rumble, and I remember seeing Andrew Tate with his brother. What's his brother's name? I don't know, whatever. And they're in Dubai, and they're together with someone else, and they're in a sauna. And Andrew Tate makes that comment about, he's got my pillowcase. Let's go push my cigarette. My doctor, Sir Zenon Gruber, gave me something really sentimental, and that was in that pillow that I asked back from you motherfuckers. Arthur. And you sent me some so stupid fucking response back when I just wanted you guys said you can keep the pillow. It's just, there's something valuable inside there that was given to me. By a GP, a doctor, his name's Dr. Sir Zenon Gruber. He's retired. He retired after COVID lockdowns. And yeah, he gave that to me. And Dr. Lebedev at St Kilda South Medical Clinic in St Kilda, when I had my appointment with him last year on December the 22nd, 23rd, it was the 22nd, and some idiot, during my consult, calls him and starts talking to him in Russian, and it sounded like Danny. And I said to Dr. Lebedev, "Is that Danny?" And he nods his head and keeps talking to him. And obviously, I was a bit, freaked out. And I said, "Can I speak to him?" Because he was talking so loud. And Dr. Lebedev pulled away and kept talking to him. Again, I'll remind everyone, on one hand, because I'm told by the police that he's in jail, and this was a clinic that I was going to for many years when I used to be a pharmaceutical rep, and I went there towards the end of last year. And so Danny wouldn't have known that. He didn't know I went to that clinic. How would it be even known I've had an appointment that day, at that time? But all I know is when I walked into that clinic, I was treated like shit that day by all of them. For some reason, I don't know why. From the practice manager, who started berating me for receiving Centrelink payments because I wasn't working. Like, what? I've worked full time since I was 18, after finishing high school. I worked in laboratories for 10 years, and then I worked in pharmaceuticals. So it's like, man, what's going on? And yes, I was so freaked out, I got up and walked out, and I sat in my car for an hour outside having a panic attack. I remember I had a bottle of water and I poured that over my head because I couldn't believe what just happened. And then after that, I wasn't welcome anymore at that clinic, because when I went back in there again, it's a walk-in clinic. You don't have to make an appointment. I walked in, asked to see a doctor. The receptionist said, okay, just take a seat. No one's waiting. There's a doctor working. And then there's a phone call. The receptionist goes into the doctor's room, comes back out, and she comes up to me and says, no, the doctor can't see you. Now, what have I done? And the police know about this. They don't give a fuck. That senior detective Jay Todd, I've told them, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. So I ask, I go, who does the Victorian Police serve? Who's their master? Whose ass do they lick? But mind you, if anyone's going to listen to this that's outside of Australia, I'm only speaking about Victoria, Australia. So I'm sure your police force wouldn't be nothing like the ones where I am. I hope not. Hope to God not. I've never ever had any dealings with the police prior to last year. I had no prior convictions, nothing. And I don't know actually what to say to anyone. If something happens to you, I don't even know whether to say to you to call the police. Because that's the other thing. If you do go to the police, the people here in Victoria, they call you a dog or a rat. At the same token, like they don't. It's because I'm a woman. It's like they won't do anything to help you. But then if you go to the police, they'll call you a dog, rat, and so. Like, how was that? I had that phone call yesterday, day before, because they just call when they feel like it to the police, and they got a bit nervous that about being on my loudspeaker on my phone. Well, hang on. You guys did a tech sweep, yeah? They've done a fucking tech sweep. Apparently my phone is, not corrupted, not compromised, even though many people did say it is. Went into the Apple store, They had a look at it, called Apple on the phone. No, apparently it's all good, my phone. Optus says, yep, no, that's the service provider, Optus. No, your phone's all good. Okay. I know, just, I lost count how many times I've changed the password, the email address to my Apple ID to keep it secure. It's linked to my phone number, but how much more can you do? And they're telling me that no, it's your phone's, nothing's wrong with it. And that's my Apple ID from, God, that would be easy over 20 years ago now. I've had that when I first bought my Apple phone, and I got the Apple ID. I've got the receipt to it too, and that Mac laptop. Anyone that knows me would know I'm very private, very protective of privacy, of mine and of others. So when I found out that I'd been hacked and my digital data's been violated, I was beyond horrified, beyond. Because not only is that of mine, it's of people I care about. Because I would never, ever do that. If I'd protect someone else's privacy. But as I'd be listening to the Dominion and Danny's YouTube videos. Can you think? This is all towards the end of 2024, beginning of 2025. And then Danny's talking, saying, oh, which redhead is it? I can't work it out. Which redhead is it? His ex-wife Carly, she's got red hair. So it's pretty sick. Like, I don't know, it's really sick. And if you can just put yourself, I don't know if this is on top of so much other things that actually did happen to me. These are then on top, the head fucks were going on. So please, sorry if I've offended you and upset you and reacted, but this is what was going on for me. And that's why, I started reacting last year. And Carly Foster knows about this. She knows Dominion. Saffron, Danny's sister-in-law, knows about Dominion because she gave me his number and told me to call him when she was over my home last year in Elwood. Mark, Danny's brother, would be on those calls, on those videos. So he knows Dominion. And Carly's partner, boyfriend, his name's Kevin. He's somewhere from some African country. They've been together for about 6 years. And they've bought a big, beautiful house somewhere in the hills in Victoria, in the east. Now, Saffron, Eilish is a very close friend of Danny, and his family for over 25 years. Eilish, Saffron, and Carly have spoken to me and told me about how Danny, has been a creepy with his own daughter, Savannah, and that's why she doesn't speak to her dad, calls him a creep. Alright? And another guy, George, who owns Magpie House in Upway, he said to me last year that on New Year's Day last year, Carly was eating his ear off the whole day, complaining about Danny. So it's like, yeah, I mean, so they know, she goes around, that's what I'm saying, he's going around, he tell everyone all this stuff, Carly and Eilish, and Saffron, you've told me about him and his narcissism and what he's done with you and Mark, and how Mark is better now that Danny's gone. Now, it's what I'm saying, if all of you said all this to me, even Mark, when he called me and he's yelling, Danny's gonna kill you, Danny's gonna kill you, call Lifeline, don't go home. Like, if you've done this, if that's not true, but I mean, you've said so many times though, Carly, I'm just thinking as well, and that's why you left him, to set a good example for your daughter, and he used to hit your daughter the way he hit me, and even Ravine stood up to him, because I remember that day when he came over, he was so pissed off with Ravine, because Ravine stood up for his sister, because the way Danny would hit her. And then Carly, you telling me that, Ravine, you knew how to call 000 at the age of 5 because of Danny's abuse to the kids, to the children, to him. So, again, I'll say, what kind of a mother are you, man? For you to then tell me last year, after the court case, that Danny calls you every second day from prison, and you said it in a way, it was like, it calls me every second day from prison. Why do you answer the call? And your reason was because you're worried about losing your clinic, your holistic clinic that you have, that you lease off from him for $500 a month, in that little unit thing in Callista. I mean, I don't know. It's like, yeah, has anyone reported you to AHPRA? Because, you talk about you're a Chinese medicine practitioner, and that's why you got injected with the COVID vaccine, because you wanted to because you're all about vaccines. So your conduct and your support of all this, has anyone reported you to AHPRA? Because your thing is, you treat women with trauma, remember? You do healing for them. Thank God you haven't touched my body. So, when Danny's there on those videos and he's saying, who's the redhead? How many are there? And I was saying, I was trying to find out what's happened to my data, so I can retrieve it, recover it, protect it again, not just for me but for others. But no one seemed to care. Actually, everyone suddenly turned against me, and I couldn't work out why. And this is during where I'm going through symptoms of PTSD and shock. And that's right. That's when Danny is on one of those videos and talking to those other men, and they're laughing about PTSD. They were mocking it. This is beginning of last year. And the police did nothing about it. Even though there was an intervention order in place. Nothing. They did nothing. They just kept saying to me, oh, you're being hypervigilant. That's why they can go fuck themselves. Because I've realized an intervention order is just a piece of paper. It doesn't protect you. Even though it says it should. It says that it's part of the legal system. Well, I reported it how many times? And it was all ignored. Deflected as if it was something, being hypervigilant. I'm going, no, here's the link to the video. Here on this, at this time stamp, it says this. And they ignored it all. So, yeah, that's why I'm not going ahead with the court, because it's, they're full of shit. And this is a family violence unit at Paran police station. Like, you think they'd be, upskilled in protecting victims of crime? Nah, they've done the opposite, actually. I mean, Carly Foster is the one who put it on her Facebook publicly when Danny got arrested, and she put down the charges he was arrested for. When at that time, beginning of last year, I didn't want anyone to know anything. Again, private. She put it on her fucking Facebook. Saffron told me this, and that's how her children found out, apparently. End it here.